Oh, g'day. Good to see you again. Come and have a look at this. So this particular rig has got two antenna inputs to it. So a high impedance input for say random wires or long wires, and then a low impedance input at 50 ohms, which is for say dipoles running on coaxial cables and so on. There's a tiny little switch in there that when you switch to the left, kicks in the high impedance input, and you switch it to the right, kicks in the low impedance input, and that's the one we're going to use today. And it's really hard to get that little switch to move because it's over time pushed itself further and further in there, and you've got to use a sharp object to move it backwards and forwards. But if you don't switch that switch over, then, and you say you're using a 50 ohm antenna and you've got it set up on high impedance, you're going to knock about 5 or 6 S points off your signal by having it on the wrong setting. So it's really important to get that little switch correct. So we're going to set that one up right now. This is the Yaesu FRG100 receiver. It was produced during the 1990s, all the way through the 90s, and it's a really underrated rig. It is really very, very good. I made some videos on this probably, about 7 or 8 years ago, I think. And I take it out into the bush just like this, and we ran it with great success. It hasn't had much work since then. So I thought we'd put away the SDRs. We've seen those for the last few videos. We've gone back a bit old school here and brought this one out today to see what we can hear. It's around 4 p.m, so coming up to 0600 UTC, and we're going to look on the lower frequencies as we get down towards evening. We're going to see what's going to happen with the lower frequencies. Don't know what we'll get. Not sure, but we'll have a bit of a snoop around and have a look.
Meters than we expected. It originally said Yahweh as the sound of the trumpet. As we're entering into the 50th year, and we're approaching the Passover, which we call Pesach in Hebrew. DXing, Coordinated Universal Sign, 6 hours, 14 months.
As I'm tuning around the bands, you'll notice that I'll be swapping around a bit between wide AM and narrow AM, in other words, a narrower filter, or upper sideband or lower sideband. Switching between the 4 of those settings can actually make quite a difference when reception is marginal. So, for instance, if a station is fading quite badly, quite often if you're using the sidebands, it actually smooths the signal out a little bit more and makes it a little clearer. But you find that different settings suit different situations, or depending on how strong the signal is coming through.
rest, seek ye, rejoice, and be glad indeed. And let such as love thy deliverance say continually, that Yahweh be magnified.
As well as acknowledging that the workman is worthy of his hire in all circumstances, sharing truth via shortwave radio is the way to go, Dave. Daily Mailbag is coming all the way from, you ready? Outer space.
You can hear the God's word. Please do what I can out of business by birthday. And that's because I'm walking in the light. You can do the same. If I'm walking in the darkness, where God just won't be in it.
Let us destroy them together. Bringing up all the synagogues, all the buildings of Yahweh in the land. We see not our sign. There is no more any prophet, neither is... Commercials.
Now don't you go away. We'll be right back.
And roll commercial.
4636 Radio. 5, 6, 7.
Buckle up, boys. This might get hairy.
Welcome back to hour number 2 of the Birds of Go-Go. It's 10 minutes. Let's make that 10 and a half minutes. Oh, what the heck. It's 11 minutes past 1 o'clock right now. Hey! How good are you? What can you that's no fable. The time I sung completely, you'll win a record from the Big D. Just listen, sister, for Tongue Twisters sometime this hour on the station with Up Power. WCRC in Hartford. Music Radio, where the fun is. 11 minutes past 1 o'clock now. We can officially say that it is 64 Big D degrees. And gang, let's see what we have.
You are listening to WWCR Central Tennessee, USA.
Do you believe that God is truly present in the church and in your life? Your answer will impact how you pray, how you worship, and how you live. Today on Turning Point, Dr. David Jeremiah considers the
Will you stop listening? Welcoming you to participate in program Yumi. Line Bombay Hemi open room 23026 for the given thinking or ask any question you got. Now Lily, thank you time we have to make him back again today before the studio. Yumi to go ahead with him.
WCRC in Hartford.
Αγάπη μας μου λες πως ήταν σήμερα και πάλι προς το νερό θα μας γίνω. Μα η φτωχιά μου σου έχει δώσει αφορμή και την αγάπη μας παραμονή.
At the time, 7 hours, 46 minutes, coordinated universal time.
I don't know whether you can hear the kookaburra there. Now, I don't know whether you can hear that. That's the kookaburra. He's saying that it's time to go to bed. It's getting a bit dark here now. It probably doesn't show up on the video. The camera's probably compensating for it. But believe me, it's starting to get pretty dark. And I haven't got my headlamp and I forgot to bring my torch. So if I don't pack up now, I'll be trying to do it in the dark and I'll be leaving things behind. So I don't want to do that. Hey, we heard a lot of stations today. This was really good. Some late afternoon activity, and it's good to see some of these stations still coming through on the lower frequencies. There was quite a lot of atmospheric noise there. There's obviously some thunderstorm activity somewhere in southeastern Australia, and perhaps even up further north. So we hear a lot of that activity. It's not as bad as summer, but it's still quite a bit noisier there than it was a couple of days ago. So anyway, but we heard some signals, and that's the main thing. And such a lovely low noise floor really makes a difference. Thanks, guys. I'm not going to hold it any longer. I've got to get out of here. All right. See you soon. Cheers.